Hello and welcome to our fourth Make Your Own Makeup class. Today we are going to discuss basics of color theory. We're going to talk about determining your face and feature shape, and we are going to learn how to make a face chart. Before we get started on our lesson today, let's do a quick overview of the class. This is our fourth class. So last week we were getting our canvas ready, and now we are going to talk a little bit about what we are going to put on it or how we are going to put things on it. Starting next week, we will begin getting into the how-tos of making each individual type of cosmetic. So lots to look forward to. So the first thing I want to talk about with you guys today um, is a little bit of color theory. Now, this will be important as we go along, especially when we talk about things like eyeshadows and concealers. So this is a very, very basic color theory lesson. I have a few terms for you. The first term is primary. So primary colors are going to be red, blue, and yellow. And the secondary colors are mixes of your primary colors. So yellow and blue make green, yellow and red make orange, and blue and red make purple. So blue, green, orange are your secondary colors. The next thing, and I want you to take special note of this because this will be important for putting together looks as well as for making things like concealers. So the next term I want you to look at is complementary. So complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So purple and yellow, green and red, blue and orange. This is important, like I said, when it comes to concealer. If you have a red spot, you want to neutralize that with something that's green. If you have blue spots or dark blue circles under your eyes, something that's more orangey or yellow, is going to help neutralize that. Also, this is important when you're putting together looks, things like eyeshadow, so that you understand which colors really pop when they're put side by side. So the next two terms that I want to talk about are tint and shade. So a tint is any color with white added to it. A shade is any color with black added to it. Now this becomes important when we start blending things for eyeshadows and making them darker and lighter. The other two terms that I want to talk to you about today are warm colors and cool colors. So your warm colors are going to be yellow, orange, red. Cool colors are blue, green, and purple. So this is just a very, very basic lesson in color theory. But you will see as we proceed through our lessons how referring back to this can be important. So I want to just talk about those first. So there are color palettes. So the next thing I want to talk about are face shapes and features. Again, these things are going to be things that will be important as we go through our lessons, even if they don't seem important today, but you will apply these later in our lessons. There are a few different face shapes that you might encounter, and you'll see them listed here. They include oblong, rectangle, round, square, inverted triangle, heart, diamond, triangle, or oval. Some of these are related. Inverted triangle and heart uh, sometimes are associated together. Um, a lot of things with round and rectangle, oblong, and square faces tend to hold true as the same things tend to hold true for those as well. These face shapes become important when we start to talk about things like contouring and blush. And again, you will see this later in the course. Now, there's a relatively easy way to find out your face shape. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to find the widest part of your face, and then you're going to determine the shape of your jaw. So if the widest part of your face is your forehead, you might be an inverted triangle or a heart. If the widest part of your face is your cheekbones, you might have a diamond-shaped face. If your jaw is the widest part of your face, you might have a triangular or pear-shaped face. If it's equal all the way down, that it might be oval, square, or rectangle. Remember I said that those tend to, a lot of the same things that we say about those shapes tend to hold true for all of those shapes. So once you've found the widest part of your face, you're then going to determine the shape of your jaw. So if your jaw is pointed, then you might have a heart-shaped face. If it's square, you might have a square face or a diamond face or a rectangle, or if it's round, you might have an oval-shaped face. So as we're kind of starting to study our face, start to think about what face shape you might have. And we will return to this later in the course. So the next thing that we sometimes consider when we are talking about cosmetics and how to apply our cosmetics is our eye shape. Now there are about 6 basic eye shapes. If you look along the bottom of this chart, you see round eyes, almond eyes, hooded eyes, and monolid eyes. You also see at the top part upturned eyes or downturned eyes, and you can see there's kind of a range of those, but they're either going to fall within that upturned or downturned range. Another thing we sometimes consider is whether how far they stick out or how far they either protrude or are deep set. So these are all things to consider that are important when we talk about putting makeup on our eyes. Now, this video will give you an idea of what your eye shape is. So go ahead and watch that video. Now let's talk about face charts. So what is a face chart? So face charts are a really great way to plan out color schemes for your makeup looks. This gives you a chance to use your own makeup to create your makeup looks, and you're going to make your own face chart. So once you get that face chart made and you have those printed off, you're ready to put makeup on. Just a few tips when you're putting your makeup on your face chart. Sponge applicators tend to work best if you have sponge applicators. Sometimes you'll find these in eyeshadow. They're usually not usable in eyeshadow. Usually we use our brushes, our nicer brushes, to apply eyeshadow, but they still put these little sponge applicators in. Those sponge applicators are great for putting makeup on face charts. Not so great for putting makeup on you, but good for putting on face charts. Q-tips also work well on face charts. The cool thing about face charts is you can apply pretty much any kind of makeup to them and it's going to work. The only thing you cannot do, I have found with face charts, is to apply mascara. A face chart is going to have space for you to write down what you're putting on your face. So face charts are an excellent way not to have to put all the makeup on your face and then take it all off again. You can plan out what looks you want to use without having that wear and tear on your face. And really, they're a lot of fun to make and they're a lot of fun to work with. So I'm going to give you some instructions real quick how to do that. So the first thing you are going to do um, is that you need to take a black and white picture of your face, preferably on either a black or white, some type of solid background, because you are going to want to take the background out of that photo. And it is important that it is black and white. Um, it doesn't convert as well in your photo editing program um, if you start out with a color photo. So use the setting on your phone to, to take your picture in black and white and start from that. Um, a couple of tips. I have a whole lot of freckles, so I do put on foundation when I take my picture for my face chart, but I do not put on any other makeup. And the only reason I put on foundation is because it shows up when I try to edit my face chart, which makes things a little difficult. If you don't have freckles, it's probably best to just go without makeup altogether, because you want that face chart to be your baseline for what you're going to put makeup on. So you're going to get your picture, you're going to upload it to, there's iPicky, iPicky.com is one I have used. You can use other photo editing programs as well. You are going to crop your picture as much as you can so it's just your face. You're going to take the background out of that picture, and then you're going to convert that picture to a sketch. There's a sketch function on most photo editing programs. You can clean it up a little bit with the eraser function. This is what I have had to do in the past for freckles or any type of sun spots on my face so they don't show up in my face chart. Once you have an image that you are happy with, you're going to save that image as a JPEG file. And then you're going to import it into a word processing program. I use Word, Microsoft Word, and I'm going to give you a template for Microsoft Word that you can use. You're going to put your photo on one side of the chart, and then you're going to add in lines to write in your makeup products. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give you that template so you don't have to do that on your own. But if there was something else you might want to add in that you can think of that you would, information that you would want on your face chart, you could add that in as well. So once you have this document completed, you're going to print it on cardstock or watercolor paper. It does not work as well on just plain paper because you're putting makeup on it and you want something heavy so the makeup does not rip the paper. So that is important. Then when you're done, you can start to apply your makeup however you want. I keep mine in a binder in plastic sheets. So if you plan on doing a lot of these, that's something you might want to think about, is getting some type of binder or something to keep them in, and that way you know you have a portfolio of your face charts. So, and this is a really fun project. You can also go online and you can find blank face charts with just a very generic face. However, it's a lot more fun to make your own, and it's a lot more accurate for you to know what's going on your face in particular. So let's talk about what our assignment is for the week. So your assignment is going to be to create your own face chart using the instructions provided. If you have any questions, please let me know. I want you to start applying makeup to your face chart. Now next week we'll get a little bit more into color theory and looking at color theory and applying that to your face chart and makeup designs. But for this week, I just want you to get started on that face chart and practice applying makeup to your face chart. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. And other than that, I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Have a good week.